I got a question for you, Khanna. Right off the bat, I watched the news. I watched Jon Stewart talking to AOC, where she's calling out, people doing insider trading, and we all know what she's talking about. A lot of people, but including mainly the face of insider trading, people would say is Nancy Pelosi, and they'll give different names. Okay, Democrats are this, Democrats are that. They're kind of trying to find themselves. They kind of fumble. They don't know what to do. I'm trying to find out, if you were to describe what does the Democratic Party stand for today, what would you say that is?
First of all, let me thank you for what you're doing for California. I just got to say that as a Californian for the fires. I appreciate that.
Anytime.
Look, the Democratic Party stands for reform. Part of the problem was in the election, we became the party of the status quo. But we are the party that says we're going to ban stock trading. AOC has put out a bill. I put out a platform on it. Now, that's bipartisan. There are also people like Chip Roy and Matt Gaetz and others who've worked on it. We stand for no PAC money, no lobbyist money. At least that's what our party should stand for in politics. We should be for term limits for members of Congress. We should be for.
Is that what you are for, or is that what the party is for?
That's what I want the party to be for.
Okay, I got you, because that's not what the party is for.
Well, I think the parties. I think the establishment needs to go. I think we got to get a new generation in there. This was a clear rejection of the establishment. We ran as the status quo party. We said everything in America is fine. Donald Trump said, no, it's not. People are hurting. People don't have a fair shake. Their jobs have been offshored. Your industries have been hollowed out. And what we have to do as a party is say we're the party that's going to take on political corruption, and we've got a real economic message. Now, I think on the economy, and we can get into it, we believe that one of the fundamental issues is the massive income inequality in America. You look at my district. You mentioned some of the guys. Mm-hmm. $12 trillion of market value in my district. $12 trillion. While this country has gone from 50...
Just in your district,
just in my
$12 trillion
district.
of...
You got Apple, Google, NVIDIA, Tesla, and a lot of other companies. $12 trillion. Now, you're living in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, or Warren, Ohio, downriver Michigan. Steel left this country. Mm-hmm. Aluminum's left this country. Shipbuilding's left this country. And you see $12 trillion in Ro Khanna's district, and you say, where am I fitting in? So the Democratic Party has a vision of how we're going to actually reindustrialize this country, how we're going to create jobs in places that have been hollowed out, how we're going to make sure people have childcare and healthcare, can have the American dream.
Okay, so why don't we start off with this clip, Rob, if you want to play this clip. So this is AOC on Jon Stewart talking about an issue that I think a lot of people have a problem with, but play the clip, Rob.
There need to be Democrats who walk the walk and talk the talk. There is an insane amount of hypocrisy, and the hypocrisy is what gets exploited to use the cynicism. And
is this about the insider trading,
wherever
Rob?
there's a hypocritical window, for example, I think one of the most biggest examples of this is insider trading in Congress. Like,
dude, I don't know if I do I give snaps? I don't know what the kids do anymore, but dude. It is that's so crazy.
It's so crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, and this is the thing. It's like people think that everyday people are stupid. I'm like, do you all really think that people don't see this shit?
They sit on a committee, they get information about a drug or a contract or a thing. They immediately make a call. The stockbroker changes things, and their portfolio swells.
Explodes. It explodes.
What are we doing?
And you're doing this on public trust.
Right.
On taxpayer finance, public, facilities. Of course.
You're regulating the market that you're trading on.
Exactly. And
you run the casino.
And then we're supposed to act like money only corrupts Republicans? Give me a fucking break.
Okay, so she says that. Now, you're in the 17th district, right? Nancy Pelosi's what, in the 11th district? And Rob, can you pull up what is Nancy Pelosi's net worth? I'm just curious.
Can I guess?
I mean,
I want to say $158 million.
That means you're following very closely. What is her net worth? What is her net worth?
Might even be more than that.
So I just pulled it up right now. Here it says...
This is 2008. 18. Oh, wow.
No, she listen, she would be so upset if you just showed that number.
Pat, maybe it's just luck. Maybe it's luck.
Well, I have this number
And
here.
that picture was from
Investopedia.
before electricity.
I don't know if this is true or not. Investopedia
240.
says
240.
$240 million.
Oh, it's way off.
Well, her
So
husband is a venture capitalist.
Let's just say it's 240. There's even
Without pants.
What is that handle on Twitter, Rob, where you can find out the trades that she makes in advance? You know, and
Pelosi
you can
Tracker?
people are Pelosi Tracker. I think it's called Pelosi Tracker on TikTok.
Yep.
Is that what it is? Zoom in. It's got 901,000 followers. Okay, the Pelosi Tracker, highlighting politicians' trades so we can invest alongside gold, get them banned from trading. $400 million invested. And this account, Rob, can you pull up to see who it's followed by? I'm just curious to know who follows this account. No, go back to the previous, the ones you followed that could follow the account. Bottom. Go a little bit lower. No, Rob. Go back.
I'm sorry.
The ones that it says 30 people that follow the same. There you go. Can you click on that? So Laura Logan, Terrible Kim, Mario Nafal follows the account. Keep going a little lower. Keep going lower. Keep going lower. Keep going lower. I'm just curious to know who's following this stuff. Lower.
John Cena.
Lower. Portnoy, myself. Who else is
PBD.
following that?
Portnoy.
Okay, keep going. 901,000 people are curious to know the kind of trades she's making. You're down the street from her, and you guys probably see each other a lot at different events.
I do.
How do you feel about this?
Look, I'm not for stock trading in Congress, and I think you need to ban it. And I have a political reform bill to do that. I've co-sponsored AOC's bill, co-sponsored the bill that Chip Roy introduced, which says, look, you come with money. It's fine to have money and go to Congress. I mean, a lot of people have wealth, but you got to put it in a trust and not be engaging in trading. Now, here's, I think, what's going on with Pelosi. I mean, you may disagree with me. She has a husband who is a tech investor and a tech venture capitalist, and he's a very, very savvy investor. He makes investments. I don't think he's making investments based on what Congress is doing, because I don't think Congress has a clue about technology. If Congress was that savvy about technology, we'd actually have smart AI and privacy policy. But I think what it does is it creates the perception of impropriety, and that's why it should be banned.
Tom, what do you think about this?
Well, I just met you, but I want to call on something there. Congress doesn't have a clue about technology, but they know what they're doing when they pull Facebook in and they talk about Cambridge Analytics, and they know what they're doing when they start talking about TikTok bans, and they know what they're doing when they put Google in there, and the stocks move based on those hearings. So Congress may not know much about technology, a point I think we would both agree on. Actually, I agree with you. You just said that's your position. But I'll tell you, they know exactly what they're doing when they do hearings and stock is moving.
But what's your point with that, Tom? What's your point with what you just said?
But
Are you saying you can't claim to say, hey, they don't know how to invest, but they do know how to investigate
correct.
the other guys?
It's like they may not be savvy on technology, but they're moving the market with hearings, and there are trades that are made, coming into and out of these hearings. And so you can't turn kind of a blind eye toward that, can you?
No, that's why I think we should ban the trading. But the bigger corruption issue, I'm not saying there shouldn't be trading, but the bigger corruption issue is the money that these companies are often giving members of Congress in campaign contributions and super PACs. Look at Meta, for example, and the amount of money they have sunk in to members of Congress and lobbying to kill the Kids Online Safety Act. The Kids Online Safety Act says, let's not have kids exposed to eating disorders and suicidal thoughts. And that can't pass. It passed the Senate overwhelmingly, can't pass the House. Not because of the stock trading, because of the money they're pouring into Congress.
That's fine.
You and I would agree on lobbying and Citizens United, by the way.
And by the way, the part here to consider is we can isolate different issues, and we can go and say no, yes, no, absolutely no, whatever. Have you ever brought it up to Nancy and said, hey, what are we doing with it? Have you guys ever had a conversation about it where there's been a moment it's like, no, this is not something we're going to be entertaining at all, specific to insider trading and maybe Congress, investing in stock trading? Have you guys ever had the conversation?
We have. I mean, I haven't had it one-on-one, but I've had it with her in a group with the California delegation and with other members of Congress where we said, let's pass this. It was in 2022 when she was still Speaker of the House, and we didn't get it onto the House floor Now, it hasn't, look, it's a bipartisan issue. The Republicans haven't brought it, but they had.
I agree.
The Democrats haven't brought it. There are about 60 of us on this bill to ban it, and we need more people on it.
So check this out, Rob. Can you pull up that New York Post article I just sent you? So this is from 5 days ago. Nancy Pelosi's husband made $38 million worth of stock trades in weeks leading up to Trump's inauguration. By the way, I just looked at this. So I haven't read this pre the podcast. While he's saying this, I pulled up Paul Pelosi, and this story pops up. Watch what he sold 5 days ago. Okay, Rob, go a little bit higher. Okay, so Nancy Pelosi made $38 million worth of stock trades in weeks leading up to President Trump's inauguration, including an investment in once obscure artificial intelligence firm whose share have soared 50% in the last week. Paul Pelosi, the venture capitalist who married the Democratic lawmaker, 11th District, San Francisco, sold $24 million worth of Apple stock, as well as how much? $5 million worth of NVIDIA. And NVIDIA just lost how much yesterday? $420 billion. I thought they lost yesterday. That's in your district. So that $12 trillion right now is $11.5 trillion. I want to make sure I fact check you on this one here. But go a little bit lower, Rob, when you see this. So let me read right above it, Rob. Keep going. I'm going to read all right there, Rob. So former of $38 million worth of stocks in her husband's made by her husband in weeks leading up to President Trump's inauguration. Let's see what the next thing says. I'm going to read all of it. Paul Pelosi, San Francisco-based venture capitalist who has amassed a mammoth stock portfolio while his wife has been sitting a member of Congress. Go a little bit lower if you could. Paul Pelosi survived the hammer. I'm not interested in that. According to the filing, Paul Pelosi bought $100,000 worth of call options in Tempest on January 14th since the Pelosi position was revealed. The company's stock has surged. Go a little bit lower to see this. So the average person watches this. Here's what the average person would say. Chris Joseph, the tech entrepreneur who has operated the Nancy Pelosi stock trader on X since January 24, launched an app that allows traders to buy stocks and amass a portfolio that is identical to that of the former House Speaker's husband. Okay, so here's what the average person asks. The average person asks, bro, you seem like a nice guy. You're being fair. This is in your district. You probably don't want to have a fight and a feud with her. You mean to tell me when the husband does what he does, right? Like the other day, we're looking at something that happened with us. A former employee did some stuff with his wife where the money was paid to his wife, but not to him. So he wasn't, technically in his eyes, like, hey, I'll give you this relationship, but you got to pay me a sidekick, money to my wife, and don't pay to me. So the paper trail is not going to come to me for me to be guilty. Do it that way. Wink, wink. No one will know. And if you do that, I'll keep bringing business back to you. It's shady, right? For somebody to, so a PI, somebody goes investigates this, and that becomes public. That is like, who's going to trust doing business with that person? You don't think Nancy's husband is, they're laying next to each other in bed and saying, hey, just so you know, XYZ just happened. You may want to kind of buy or sell some of this stuff. You don't think you don't think the average person thinks those types of conversations are taking place?
I think the average person thinks that because people have such a low respect for Congress, and they think we're all engaged in some kind of unethical, corrupt conduct.
I don't think it's everybody, though.
No,
I don't think they think all of you are. This is specific to her.
But do I think that she's giving Paul Pelosi some inside tip that a DeepSeek is going to come out? No, I don't think Nancy Pelosi knows that the Chinese are going to be releasing DeepSeek and that this is why NVIDIA stock is going to fall. And by the way, I think NVIDIA is actually going to do fine because there's also going to be increased demand now with DeepSeek for AI, and we can get into that. But what I think is that Paul Pelosi is very, very plugged in to the tech network, and he has a lot of insights about technology. He's a tech venture capitalist.
Nothing to do with her is what you're saying.
That is my view. But I will say this, that a lot of people, most people will look at this and say, I don't believe, bro. I think something shady is going on, and that's why we should ban the stock trading.
We raised $108,000. We send the money already to California. We've sent, I think, 6 families $5,000 apiece that me and Vinny individually called, FaceTimed, and we spoke to them. The stories are, I wish we raised $50 million to send the money out there, but we only did $108,000 of sale that they would merge. We are still calling families. If you have anybody that's gone through something, send me directly a Manek with your phone number and their phone number. Tell me as much detail as possible. We're FaceTiming people and just let them know that we're sending money over their way. And then the money is getting sent out. Once we give the details to the individuals, money gets sent out to their account. You can connect any one of us. You send it to Adam, to Vinny, to me, to Tom. It's going to end up coming back to me anyway. So whatever guys that you send this to, they'll send it to me. We'll make the phone calls. I think today's the last day we're doing it to send the money out to the folks in California. They're still going through it. That's one. Make sure you do that. Number two is on the cigar lounge that a lot of you guys have been wanting to be a member of. We have had our manager now there for the last, I think, 90 days or so. The place is looking amazing. We're going to launch it in the month of March, but you know it's a private cigar line. So for those of you that are in South Florida and you want to find out how to become a member, text the word cigar to 310-340-1132. Again, text the word cigar to 310-340-1132. One of our representatives will get a hold of you in the month of February to tell you all about it, but make sure you text the word cigar to 310-340-1132. We're opening up the comedy club, the cigar lounge, to 2 bars. We got the liquor license. We got the whole thing. We'll be opening up here soon. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.